Welcome to Fashion Reverie Talks. I'm Tiana Ibrahimovic.
And I am Cicely Daniels.
Fashion Reverie takes you from the front lines of fashion to the front row.
All of Fashion Reverie Talk segments are based on published content found on fashionreverie.com.
So remember, if you want more information on the segments, go to fashionreverie.com. And if you like this episode, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button of this episode on YouTube.
In this, our very last episode of the season, we are happy to talk to Stylist Extraordinaire Avon Dorsey, and we have author and publicist Scott French to conduct our end of the season fashion quiz. Please play along. But let's start with the fashion news. All of our news segments are based on the fashion news alerts found on fashionreverie.com. And I am going to start with our first fashion news segment. Jonathan Anderson has a new job. He has been named the creative director of Dior's women's, men's, and couture collections. And this is the first time that a designer has been named the creative director of Dior's 3 fashion platform. So it's a pretty big deal. The appointment of a creative director is hopefully going to give a stronger and more unified vision of Dior. They have to say that Dior is thrilled to welcome Jonathan Anderson, a visionary creator with a remarkable career. And it comes after Anderson leaves his post at Lowe, another fashion brand owned by LVMH. So it's about to be, I'm sure it's a huge honor, like a very big deal to helm such a prestigious house of fashion. And he says that he's always been inspired by the rich history of this house, its depth and empathy, and looks forward to working alongside legendary ateliers to craft the next chapter of this incredible story. So it's going to be exciting. Jonathan will present his first collection, Dior Men's Summer, in 2026 in Paris on June 27th.
Well, let's see what happens. It's a big responsibility.
Yes, yeah. It's very lofty, and like 3 to be in charge of like all of basically those 3 Dior lines. That's huge. It's huge.
I know. I agree.
So we'll see.
We shall see. In the other news, Brooke Shields has yet another cover under her belt. She is the newest cover girl for Only Natural Diamonds summer issue. So she chatted with Ruthie Freelander about aging, jewelry, how her daughters have sort of motivated her to just let loose a little more so that she can wear bikinis and not just one-piece suits to the beach and muumuus. So she shared that with the Daily Front Row. And it was quite interesting to see her on this cover where, of course, the topic was jewelry and not necessarily only diamonds, but just to appreciate more of just the craftsmanship of making jewelry, and of course passing it down from generation to generation, and how much of a meaning that can have for family members, and of course for her daughters that she is planning to leave her jewelry to.
Oh, I always love everything with mothers and daughters. So I think that's a lovely connection and inspiration. So that's very cool. That's very cool. All right. And our last bit of fashion news is about my First Lady, Michelle Obama. She's always my First Lady. Doesn't matter who is in office. Michelle Obama has jumped into fashion publishing with her new book, The Look, which examines her journey in fashion and beauty while serving as First Lady. And as we know, it was an extraordinary 8-year journey. And we get to learn about her personal and reflective memories of the time. And we get narrative insights from her stylist, her makeup artist, her hairstylist. And you can go to michelleobamabooks.com to get your own copy. So that seems like something I would need a copy of because she's my first lady. So
Well, interesting. I am looking forward to checking it out, or maybe to see some of your inspired looks.
yeah, she's always so beautiful. She's always so classy, and she did take like bring in new designers and like take risks and like kind of elevate new designers while she was first lady. So like I am interested to see. I think that is the end of our fashion news alert. But of course, if you want to stay on top of what is going on in the news of fashion, go to fashionreverie.com. Well, viewers, I am so excited to welcome our next guest. He is a fashion editor, he is a celebrity stylist, he is a content creator, and I get to have the pleasure of interviewing him. Avon Dorsey, welcome to Fashion Reverie Talks.
Hey, thank you so much for that amazing intro. I appreciate it.
Of course. Well, we are so excited to have you. As you know, like in this like crazy business of fashion, style is everything. So being an extraordinary stylist really means kind of being on the cutting edge and the front lines of fashion, right?
That's a good way to look at it. I never looked at it as like being on the front lines, but you're
Yes.
right. We are, yes.
Absolutely. So, of course, we want to get to know you and get to know a little more about you. How did you start your fashion journey?
Great question. So I started, wow, how far back are we going? So as a teenager,
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
I was into fashion. My mom, she taught me how to sew. Then my grandmother, she was like sort of a seamstress and like in charge of like the church fashion show. So that was like my first taste of fashion. And then by the time I was in high school, I remember going to the fashion show at school, and it was like I was a freshman, and it was like a big spring production. Everybody talked about it, and I walked through the auditorium like, this is it. Like, this is where I'm supposed to be. And so
Yes.
seeing, my peers on stage and like just modeling and the music and the lights and all of that just gave me that buzz. And I was like, okay, this is it. So by the time I graduated high school, I was in charge of the fashion club. I then went on to Morgan State University. I started my own fashion club at Morgan State. I did internships in the industry in New York. I worked with InStyle magazine, Glamour, Marie Claire. I was the editor at Essence. I've done fashion show productions for like the Smithsonian, Artscape, which is the largest outdoor art festival. Just continuing to pursue that initial dream. And so I think that's where it all started.
That's amazing. Well, you just mentioned some of the publications that you have worked for, but also additionally GQ, Essence, Vogue. What have you learned from some of these publications that has helped you sustain your career as a stylist?
Oh, okay. So as a stylist, so with some of those publications, I was an editor. So being on staff and like writing stories.
You could just tell us things you learned either way, as a stylist, as well as an editor, because of course
Yeah,
all of it, is informative, I'm sure.
absolutely. So as a stylist, I've learned to make sure that your T's are crossed, your I's are dotted, because when you're with a magazine, you're not just styling for yourself and you're not just styling for like a friend, you're doing it for celebrities, you're doing it for the book, whether it's a real story with real women or real men or whether it's models. So as
Great.
a stylist, you learn how to communicate with the PRs, how to develop your decks with your creative team. Everything's a process when you're on staff as a stylist. So it's not a typical, freelance type of job where you're coming up with your own ideas or coming up with your own mood boards. Everything is pitched in a meeting like months in advance, and then it comes down to the wire of your shoot date and your styling and you're on set. And then there's another process after that where you select images and you're editing, and then it goes out to the world. So it's a strenuous process, but it's a beautiful thing to see in the end.
I can only imagine. Of course, you were talking about your communication being like so important as you're creating these relationships, and you have styled some major celebrities. And I know that this is a tough question, but if you had to pick one, and I'm just saying it, you just have to pick one that is your favorite, which is your favorite and why?
Oh my gosh. So I cannot. I mean, I would be on the
I knew it
chopping
was
block,
a hard one.
but I will say,
Okay, you could give me a couple of like favorite moments. How about that? How about like favorite moments? Something that was like really cool, or like something that was, had an impact. How about that?
Love that.
Okay.
So favorite moments, I would say Trevor Jackson for the BET Awards, I think 2018. He was like a host, and then he was on the carpet, and then he was backstage. Like we just had so many activations during that awards. I'm actually in LA this year for BT Awards, working with a new client, Brandon T. Jackson. That was fun this weekend. Michael B. Jordan, styling him for the cover of Essence. That was fun because the social engagement, like Issa Rae made this iconic comment about him and like the baby oil and all that stuff. So that was fun. Toby Servo is always a great time, very intellectual when he talks about clothing and his approach with clothing and being on set or red carpet. So those are some of the favorite fun moments.
Awesome. That is amazing. Now, we know that you were founded a new digital magazine, Brother. Talk a little bit about it.
Yeah, so Brother Magazine is about Black men and the endless style, the endless evolution of being creative and just showcasing what it is to the world, the contributions that Black men have made in fashion and style, creativity. So with this new publication launching next month, I'm putting a spotlight on our brothers. And so the title of the magazine is called Brother Magazine. The website will be launching brothermag.com. And it really just puts a spotlight on Black men, their intellect, their creativity, their disposition in the world, and showing things in a positive manner versus the downtrodden images that the media portrays or the stereotypical images. It's a fashion magazine for us, by us.
That sounds incredible. Well, you are a fantastic guest. Now we're friends, so don't forget about it. I don't have any big events coming up. I just did the Tonys, so I have to figure out when I need some styling for something important coming up. But we are so grateful for you for taking time out of your very busy schedule to join us. Thank you so much. We wish you so much great success on your brother on the magazine, and we want all of our viewers to check it out and continue to look and appreciate your work as we will be seeing it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. This was amazing. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Totally. That's major.
Oh, thank you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you guys.
It is time for one of the most challenging segments of the season.
You know what, Tiana? First of all, I think you said challenging, but I feel like you directed it towards me. Is that true?
We'll see. What can I say? We are welcoming Mr. Scott French with his quiz and the questions of this season's news.
Hello, everyone. So,
hey, Scott.
hi, how you doing? I just want to let you know that I think this is the 6th or maybe 7th installment of this quiz, and Tiana has won all 7 installments except one. Cicely, you did tie her one season, so
but then I won, right?
So here we go. And I gotta say, this is I try to up at the ante a little bit. This is probably the toughest one ever.
That's not good. This is not helpful. I need easy quizzes. Oh my gosh. Okay, this is fine.
I also want to let you know that Tiana tried to bribed me last night to give her the answers, and I would not. No, I'm only
That's
kidding.
not true.
Yeah,
Here we
that's
go.
it.
So, are we ready? Okay, and as usual, we have these are the
Is it
seven.
just Cicely and I that are competing?
It's
Wait,
only
no.
You're
Oh
going
yeah.
head to head this week. Yes, this season. So it's going to be just the two of you. So
Oh
there's
my
7 questions this time, and as you know, I'm going to tally the responses. It's A, B, C, and D. So those of you playing along at home, listen for all 4 answers, and then you'll hold your answers up, and I will tally it and give you a little bit of an update on each question, a little bit of background as usual, because there's always once a teacher, always a teacher is the way I look at things. So, ready to start?
Yeah.
Here we
Yes.
go. The first question involves a reality TV question. So it's a bit of a pop culture question here. Which former reality TV star has a new fragrance on the market? Is it Sophia Richie A, B, Tyra Banks, C, Paris Hilton, or D, Kelly Clarkson? So we have A, Sophia Richie, B, Tyra Banks, C, Paris Hilton, or D, Kelly Clarkson?
Mm, mm.
So hold up your answers. Clearly we can see it, and we will give you a point or not.
Why can't I see that?
Oh my God, I have no idea.
I also have no idea. I have no idea.
So we finally stumped Tiana on a question here. So what is your answers? We got to call time. I'll do the buzzer. I don't.
I don't even remember what the choices were. That's fine. You know
Go
what?
ahead.
Next time I'm going to make myself like a mimosa while I'm doing it, so that like then that's gonna be my excuse. I'm gonna
Okay,
do
that's your
that. You guys remind me next time.
Tiana claims to have no idea, but it seems that she did have a bit of an idea because the correct answer is indeed C. Paris
Hey!
Hilton. Here's the answer. So in actuality, Paris Hilton, this is her 31st scent that she's launched. Her first one, Paris Hilton for Women, launched it back in 2004. And on her site, Paris Hilton Fragrances, there's still some 31 products for sale spanning across all her scents. And while everybody gives Paris Hilton a little bit of flack for being an heiress and making all her money from her mommy and daddy, that's actually not true. The gross majority of her wealth has come as a result of the $2 billion in sales she's had on her scent market. So as her second scent says, heiress, she truly is an heiress. So
Oh,
I give Paris Hilton props on that one. I just read a book by Terry Higgins called Hijacking the Runway, where it gets into the strategy behind all this. And Paris Hilton's a real mogul. Don't ever underestimate her.
that's
So
fair.
now Tiana's off to a running start, a 1-0 lead from the beginning here. So Cicely, here we go. I have a feeling this is the one you're going to get.
Really?
A bit of a more serious topic here. A bit of a more serious topic. Number 2, which famous fashion designer has recently been accused of sexual assault?
All of them?
So we have A, Olivier Rousteing, B, Michael Kors, C, Marc Jacobs, or D, Riccardo Tisci. It's A, Olivier Rousteing, B, Michael Kors, C, Marc Jacobs, or D, Riccardo Tisci. So
Well, that's just terrible.
I know. And when you hear what I'm going to say is the little follow-up on this, it's not so pretty. So you ready for your answers?
Are we answering?
We're answering.
We are answering. Oh my god. Hold on. Okay, now I can't find the screen. Okay, sorry. Yes. Okay, hold on.
Okay,
Oh, now I forgot.
No, A is Olivier Rousteing, B, Michael Kors, C, Marc Jacobs, or D, Riccardo Tisci. So here we go. Answers, please.
Okay. I don't know.
This needs to be timed.
I
And
know.
Okay. I know.
the link over here.
I'm just thinking, and I don't have a good answer either.
Okay,
So
so we got to make a guess then. So let's
all right,
answer, please.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so go ahead, please. I can't. Okay, we have Tiana says D and Cicely says C. Well, what do you think? The answer is D. Correct. Riccardo Tisci. Sadly, however, Riccardo Tisci is just the latest addition to a growing list of designers who have been accused of such matters, including Peter Nygaard, the Swedish designer, Alexander Wang, Anand John, who sadly is currently serving 59 years of life for his offenses. So it's a growing issue in the fashion business, and it's a sad reality of the world in which fashion exists. So let's move on to a more upbeat, happy question. Number 3.
Terrible.
Which renowned fashion editor has launched a new magazine? A bit of a controversial thing in an era when magazines are having a tough time. This particular editor came out with a brand new one. Is it A, Grace Coddington, B, Edward Enninful, C, Nina Garcia, or D, Constance White? So which fashion editor has launched a new magazine? A, Grace Coddington, B, Edward Enninful, C, Nina Garcia, and D, Constance White. Before we pull up the answer, I got to tell you, I'd read a magazine from any of these 4 people. So it's a crowded, great space here. So answers, please.
Just making it up.
Tatiana, want to expose yours or?
I'm waiting for
I'm
Cicely,
ready.
as usual.
Don't even. I don't know the answer.
Answers, please. Kate. Cicely says A and Tiana says B. Okay, Cicely, we are having a really tough time today because once again, Tiana got the answer correct.
That's all right. Yay, Tiana.
Edward Enninful. Yes, editor Edward Enninful. Everyone associates Ghanaian born Edward Enninful with British Vogue, but the fact is he began his career at British publication ID magazine, and he was only 18 years old when he was named editor there, and he was there for a whopping 20 years before moving to British Vogue. Also, just a little side note: Queen Elizabeth II gave Edward Enninful the Officer of the British Empire denotation, which is the equivalent of a knighthood for a foreign-born national. So
he's a sir.
He's not a sir. He's an OBE.
What's that mean?
Order of British Officer of the British Empire. If you're foreign-born, you can't be named a true knight. So a British.
Oh, he is a foreign-born.
He's a foreign-born, Ghanaian-born, yes, but grew up in England. So it's a really amazing thing. So he's quite an accomplished in the world of magazine editors. I'd have it for Edward Enninful is going to go down in history as probably the most accomplished. Not many can be killing, an almost knight. Okay, this next one is a really, really good one. Caused a great deal of controversy back in when this was announced, but here we go. Number 4, who was not one of the co-hosts of the 2025 Met Gala? So who was not? This is the person that was left out. And this person, when they were left out, it was really, really a pretty major cry from the fashion public. Here we go. Is it A, Coleman Domingo, B, Dapper Dan, C, Pharrell Williams, and D, who I like to call $$ App Rocky to annoy my kids, but as everybody knows, I'm ASAP Rocky. So is it A, Coleman Domingo, B, Dapper Dan, C, Pharrell Williams, and D, ASAP Rocky? Which one was not a gala co-chair for the Met Gala this year, which was all about, the influence of African-American tailoring on the fashion world? So, ready for the answers?
Yes.
Here we go. I see Cicely taking a deep breath, and answers, please. B from B. Yay! Cicely's on the board. Tiana standing for the one lead. But if you can somehow keep Tiana from getting these next 3, you can come back for.
I cannot. But anyway, that's good. At least I got something right today. A
little bit about Dapper Dan. Why it's so controversial that he was not one of the Met Gala co-chairs was his real name is Daniel Day. He's now 80 years old. He grew up on 129th Street, Lexington Avenue, in a 3-bedroom apartment where he shared it with 9 brothers and sisters. So there's a family of 11 lived in a 9-bedroom apartment in Harlem. He was inspired by Malcolm X speech that he heard to go out and study. And he became a writer for a local newspaper before launching his boutique. And I love this next line that he came up with. He had a boutique where he started appropriating designer logos into his own designs and was causing a lot of controversy for his knockoffs. And one of the best lines ever as a response is, "I'm not knocking them off, I'm knocking them up," which I thought was a great line for Dapper Dan. So yeah, he became synonymous with the burgeoning hip hop community and became the designer of choice. And that's why it was so controversial he wasn't named one of the co-hosts. So anyway, on to question 5. This is a real make or break one here. And because keep this neck and neck, or will Cicely, start pulling out. Which former first lady has a new fashion book coming out in November? Is it A, Michelle Obama, B, Hillary Clinton, C, Laura Bush, or C, Rosalind Carter? Okay, so A, Michelle Obama, B, Hillary Clinton, C, Laura Bush, or D, the late Rosalind Carter? So answers, please.
Did I just say?
Little second thoughts here.
Are we ready?
No,
I'm
I'm thinking because of what I just said. I'm thinking because of what I just said in the fashion news alert.
So we got to have your answers. We got to time this in.
All right. Well, I don't know because I don't know anyone else coming with a fashion book. So go.
Okay. So we both are saying A. You'll be happy to know, yes, it is A. It is Michelle Obama. I thought, if you don't get this one right after this speech,
but I thought I said it was coming out sooner than that. So that's why I was like, okay.
Yeah, no. Michelle Obama's latest book will be her 4th title since she and Barack Obama left the White House. And all 4 have made it to number 1. We're making a little prediction here. This is going to make number 1 as well. All 4 have made it to number 1, which is no easy feat for anyone who counts writing as her 3rd or 4th job. A lot of writers who do it as a full-time career don't make it to those heights. So no small feat. Okay, 6. Which supermodel has a new campaign coming out with Burberry? Okay, so which supermodel has a new campaign with Burberry? Is it A, Linda Evangelista, my personal favorite supermodel of all time?
Oh.
B, B, Heidi Klum, not by personality, but by photography. Looks like Linda Evangelista. B, Heidi Klum. C, Jerry Hall. Or D, Anna Quayle. Is it A, Linda Evangelista, B, Heidi Klum, C, Jerry Hall, or D, Anna Quayle? So let's have our answers, please. Cicely says C, Jerry Hall, as does Tiana. Well, it's either a really good thing for both of you or really bad for both of you. In this case, it's a really good thing. Yes. Jerry Hall, best known as the model and main romantic interest of Mick Jagger, as he calls his main focus for some 22 years, actually has a twin sister that looks exactly like her, which is a very interesting thing. They were discovered on a beach in Saint-Tropez, France, and Jerry chose to make the move to Paris to pursue modeling, even though her sister chose not to. Interestingly enough, when she moved to Paris, her roommates, are you ready for this? In a 3-person apartment, her 2 roommates were none other than Jessica Lange and Grace Jones. So talk about a fun apartment. That would have been a fun one, yes. Her portfolio includes 40 magazine covers. And in one little last note, 3 different major artists, Francesco Clemente, Ed Ruscha, and Lucienne Freud, all count her as their main muse. So Jerry Hall obviously has some creative thing going on because all these major creative people all count her as their muse.
Fierce.
So very interesting here. We have a real tough contest here. Tiana currently has 6 points and Cicely with a very respectable 3, however. Off to a slow start, but coming up here. We should make this one count for like 5 points. So if Tiana gets it wrong.
No.
Tiana's not good.
No.
So
here's
Tiana.
Well question. And Cicely, I might give you a few extra points if you get this one right.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, number 7. What is the name of Edward Enninful's new magazine? We mentioned earlier that he was launching a new magazine. Why not hear what's the name of it? Is it A, Black on Black, B, Fashion Perspectives, C, Style Venture, or D, 72 Magazine? So A is Black on Black, B, Fashion Perspectives, Style Venture for C, or D, 72 Magazine. Bit of a confusing one there, but.
Okay. What are the choices again?
I'm not confused at all.
A, Black on Black.
Oh my God, of course you're, shush. Okay.
B, Fashion Perspectives, C, Style Venture, or D, 72 Magazine. Okay, we have to call for our answers because Tiana's very nervous here. She's wondering if she's going to get this one or not.
She's totally going to get it.
Okay.
Shush, Tiana. Okay.
Okay.
Didn't say a word.
Okay, so let's
So-
have your answers, please. Okay, D. And D, I can't read Tiana's, but I think Tiana said A. No, I'm only kidding.
No, Tiana said
D.
D.
The answer is D is the correct answer. So, uh, so
So
I
you
can't
mentioned
even.
extra points.
Yes. So the significance of the name 72 magazine is actually not so deep and meaningful, but still as interesting. Edward Unenfold's media company is called EE72, which stands for Edward Unenfold and his birth year of 1972. So EE72 is the media company he founded, and they called it just 72 magazine as a sort of a play on his birth year and the name of his media company.
How unoriginal.
I actually got to say, I find it a bit unoriginal as well, but at least there's a name behind it, not just some random, oh yeah, 72 magazine, because
At
it's my
least
72
it's not
magazine letter.
at least it's not at AOL.
Yes, or something like that. Yes, so I don't know if you want to announce this or not, Cicely, but you have 4 points, and out of the 7 questions, Tiana has 7, which now makes her undefeated, and she came out of this year with a stronger lead than any year in the past. So congratulations, Tiana.
Oh, yay, Tiana. Congratulations.
So I guess that wraps up
I
our.
can't help it.
Next time I told you I'm just gonna I'm gonna have like my mimosa, and so I'm be like, oh, that's why I didn't get the answer.
Just do keep in mind, I do accept bribes for the questions.
Okay, perfect.
For you, I will. Or maybe just take that amazing play you're in. So we'll try.
Oh,
Let's
see.
see if that can help.
Oh my goodness, no.
Thanks everyone, and thanks so much for playing along.
Thank you,
Thank
Scott.
you,
Yes,
Scott.
again.
It's always such a pleasure. Even though I lose the games, I still enjoy playing them. So, and I like learning new information.
As a final little plug for those of you following along at home, if you want to learn all these answers and more, you can always go to fashionreverie.com and read all the skinny.
Well, viewers, that's it for this last episode of the season of Fashion Reverie Talks. Tiana and I are going to miss you.
We would also like to thank stylist Avon Dorsey and Scott French for appearing on Fashion Reverie Talks.
So for my real excuse for why I'm not as good as being on top of my fashion news, I am currently performing in Pirates the Penzance musical on Broadway at the Todd Hames Theater. We are open until July 27th. And if you catch the Tony Awards, or depending on when you're watching this, you may have seen me on national television because we will be performing then. So come check out my Broadway show. For information on these and other stories, go to fashionreverie.com. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you next season. Have a good summer.